Of cars.
Hey everyone, welcome to Advanced Studio Classroom Monday live stream. I'm your host Peter. I'm joined this week by Rhonda. Hello Rhonda.
Just driving Peter crazy.
Yes, and that's just the beginning of the car-related terms and phrases that we're going to share with you today here at your Monday afternoon live stream. We are pivoting off of an article in your trusty Advanced magazine for the month of June. And the article, it's today's article in fact, it's called Living Car Free, Living Without a Car, and it's set in Dallas, Texas, a big city, and it's about how people are getting by without cars at all. Just, not just for a little while, but it's a lifestyle of living without a car, still needing to get to places, but using bicycles or public transportation or whatnot. So you want to check this article out, but we'll give you a little supplement to the article by giving you some vocab and some phrases related to cars and related to driving. We'll start with our poll question. As always, you can chime in on the poll question, and we'll try to remember to give you the results by the end of the live stream. But important note there, if we do forget to tell you about the results of the poll, you can always find them now in the in the more information box under where we're appearing right now. So be sure to check on that. But the poll question is, if you were a car, just having a little fun here, if you were a car, would you be a family sedan, typical four-door family sedan kind of car? Would you be a race car? I think she's got a race car right here. Would you be a limousine, long and luxurious and, probably not going to win the race to a race car, but very comfortable? Or would you be a Jeep? Like in the military, you can go over land and through the jungle, maybe no roof, but would you be a Jeep, a limousine, a race car, or a simple family sedan if you were a car? Just having some fun here. Let us know about that. Rhonda, if you were a car, what would you be?
Well, I'd probably mostly act like a race car already.
Yes.
But I would prefer to be a safe, responsible family sedan.
A safe, responsible family
smooth,
sedan. That's Rhonda. Sure. Although I still think she'd take you for some nice trips. B, hello, good afternoon. B, nice to have you with us. Kason, nice to see you again. Good afternoon. And Steve, there's a movie called Stripes in 1981, played with Bill Murray, and there's a GMC motorhome turned into a tank. Yes, there is a motorhome. We also call them Winnebagos, although I think that's a type of motorhome. You've seen them before, maybe more in America than here in Taiwan, but they're those big trucks that basically have like a home on top of them. Not a literal house, not like when they sometimes take a house down the road by a truck, but this is like a large bus that you can live in. Rhonda, an RV, that's the other term I was looking for. RV stands for recreational vehicle. There's even, Steve, a Robin Williams movie called RV, in which he has an RV and has adventures with it. Anyway, I think if I was a car, kind of depends on my mood, I have to say. Some days I feel like a limousine, some days I feel like I want to be a Jeep. I think today I'd want to be a limousine.
He's feeling elegant, important,
and
famous.
And I like to travel in comfort and be comfortable, and I like to show off. I'll honest, I like to show off. So I would be a limousine. Let us know what kind of car you would be. So let's go to our vocab. That's what we're here for, give you a chance to practice your English. So here's some vocab, as always, related to cars and driving, but also having meanings outside of that, so you don't have to use it just when you get in a car or something. So the first word we have for you today is simple little word, ramp. R-A-M-P, ramp. Rhonda, what is ramp?
Ramp is that curved part of the highway that you get on to enter the main part. There's an entrance ramp and exit ramp. Right. Sometimes we say the on-ramp and the off-ramp.
Right. If you're getting onto the main highway or you're getting off the main highway, an on-ramp or an off-ramp, a little road that connects you to the big 4 or 5 or 6 lane highway. Ramp also can mean, it can be used as a verb. It can mean to ramp up something, meaning to increase the effort in which you put into it, to increase the pace of something. You know, we need to ramp up our efforts to get that bill passed through Congress. It's just sitting in committee right now. We need to ramp up our efforts, get some energy going into it, and rally people around it.
That's right. When you're taking driver's ed, I remember when I was 16 taking driver's ed, we learned that when you start to get on the on-ramp, you're building up speed to enter. So that's the idea. Ramp in English also means that slanted, sloped entry to a building.
Right.
Different idea, but
well, it's
similar.
the same basic idea.
A gradual...
In that it's a path or a narrow road or a very short, small road. You wouldn't put cars on it. You see them for handicapped access to a building. There'll be the stairs, you know, and then a little ramp right next to it for people in a wheelchair to get up. That's a ramp, the noun form. And again, to ramp up something similar, related to the noun, is something that helps you get to something and increase towards it. Ramp.
Okay, let's ramp it up.
Lance, yes, she means wrap up our discussion of ramp.
Ramp up. We're going faster and faster.
Ah, okay. Anyway, Steve, comment from Steve. I want to be a race car. There you go, Steve. I kind of guessed, Steve, that you'd want to be the race car. Just had an instinct. Because in the future, my dream car will always be a Nissan Skyline GT-R R34, similar to Paul Walker's Fast and Furious car in the movie Fast and the Furious. Yes, great classic car movie franchise there. There's about like 8 or 9 of them, I think, in which it's all car chases and action and adventure and Vin Diesel, you know. And good reference, Steve. Thanks for sharing.
Some pictures on there.
Yeah,
okay.
no, we're getting them here now.
Nice.
Let's give you another piece of vocab here about driving. Here's one, a little longer this time. Congestion. Multiple syllables. congestion. Congestion. Rhonda, what are we talking about?
I'm sitting in it. The traffic is so congested. Congestion, crowded. It's going so slowly. There's a lot of congestion on the streets today. Too many cars. Even people can be part of the congestion.
Right. And sometimes you can even get congestion in here. When you have a congested nose of some sort, it means you're having trouble breathing because you have a cold, and there's too much stuff in there. There's too much, what your body produces when you're ill. You have congestion in your nose, so you might go to the drugstore and get a decongestant medicine of some sort, which will get rid of the congestion.
And have you ever been on the on-ramp and you can't enter the highway because of the congestion? It's so congested. And there you are, you're stuck on the ramp.
Right, see, these are all interconnected. Kason, hello.
Hey, Kason.
Yes, a fancy way to describe a traffic jam. Exactly.
Kason, A+.
Exactly. Or a traffic jam in your nose, you might even say. Or sometimes in your lungs, that sort of thing.
Don't say traffic jam in your nose. Are you teaching them English?
I'm showing them how it can be applied figuratively.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that picture.
No, it's true. You won't go to a doctor and say I have a traffic jam in my nose.
Because Teacher Peter Brown told me that.
Right. It's almost more amusing that Rhonda wants to warn you about not using the language. Okay, you can use it. It's no big deal.
Let's drive on.
Let's drive on now and talk about another word starts with the same letters as congestion, but it's a different word. Convertible. 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 Rhonda, what's a convertible?
I just push a button and the top of my car goes down and the sunlight is streaming in and the wind is in my hair and I'm driving my convertible down the highway in California with my, isn't there a song?
Sure, there's many
songs. I'm driving my convertible.
Kaysen, yeah. We're
Kaysen.
glad you can catch our drift here, Kaysen. We're having a little too much fun
okay.
here, but yeah, thanks. But yeah, a convertible for driving is one of those cars with no roof, or with, even better, a roof that is retractable.
Yes.
You can, press a button and it goes, comes over you or goes back, opens you up to the sky, to the fresh air. There are some cars, I think, that are made without a roof altogether.
Here's a problem with English. The root word is convert, to change something. It's spelled I-B-L-E. It just means able to convert, but English had to spell it with an I.
Yeah.
Who's to blame?
Most words, that's a good point. Most words in English that are able this, able that, like agreeable, able to agree, will be spelled with the A for able, because that's the word it comes from. Convertible, one of those irregular ones.
Some American did that.
Convertible with an I instead of with an A, convertible. But yeah, and a couch, a sofa in your living room can also be a convertible if it's one of those that folds out into a bed when you have guests, and then you fold it back up and it just becomes a couch again. Another word for that is convertible, because you can convert it.
Now, if you had told me your couch was a convertible, I would have thought you meant it turns into a car. So Peter and I, don't worry about your English, because we often don't speak the same.
True, this is true.
He wants to tell the doctor there's a traffic jam in his nose and that his sofa.
Yeah, I don't want to tell the doctor there's a traffic jam in my nose.
English.
I'm just saying that it's similar to. That's, a traffic jam in your nose. Feels like a traffic jam in my nose. But let's give you one more vocab word, and then we're going to give you another discussion question that you can chime in on. Oddly, a lot of our vocab today, a lot of vocab having to do with driving and cars, all begin with the letter C, just like the word car. So here's a third consecutive word. Oh, consecutive, there's another C. A third consecutive word, meaning in a row, that begins with C, clutch. C-L-U-T-C-I-C-H, clutch.
Yes.
And Rhonda, what does clutch mean?
Well, I was doing the verb, but the clutch is that mechanism that some cars have to change the engine to transmission.
Right. The clutch.
You asked me to explain a car.
Well, I figured you were a car expert.
I am not. I know.
Because you're out the wheel here. I thought she knows all about cars.
No, I only have a steering wheel.
The clutch, a lot of you probably know this too. Clutch is the extra pedal in a car, in some cars, that you press when you want to change gears. When you want to go from first gear to second gear, you press the clutch first, and then you do the gear shift. Cars with automatic transmission do that. They transfer you from one gear to the next automatically. You just shift, or actually it's down here more often nowadays. I grew up learning about driving cars where the shift was often coming out of the wheel, like right here. Any of you all remember that? They're all down here now, and you just sort of reach down with your hand like that and shift gears like that. But if you're driving with a clutch, then there's an additional pedal, or sometimes even a thing you have to pull to enable the car to shift from one gear to the next. That's the clutch. Now, Rhonda, I bet you can tell us about other meanings of clutch.
Yes. Clutch onto your purse so that no one steals it. Clutch onto the steering wheel. Hold it tight.
Right.
Clutch onto Peter so he doesn't run
talking
away.
About traffic jams and noses. Yes. No.
Clutch.
I'm trying to grip something tightly is to clutch it. To hold it tightly.
Great word. It's a great word.
Yeah, very useful. Steve, another comment. Tom Cruise in Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible. That's like the fourth one, I believe. Ghost Protocol was driving a BMW convertible, yes, and chasing the spy who was driving a BMW SUV. That's right. I forget. Steve not only knows the movies, he knows the Hot Wheels cars. He knows all about cars. This is like his ideal topic right here, talking about cars, talking about
Maybe
movies.
we should give him this prop, like a prize for Steve.
Here, just reach for it through the camera. If you can.
I'm tired of clutching it. I've been clutching it. My hand is tired.
Right.
Okay.
So let's relax our hands and give you guys another discussion question that you can respond to. It's very simple. If you were to go for a drive here and now today, anywhere in the world, where would you go? So you don't have to be limited to our island now. This is, we're going to take you, all expenses paid, to anywhere in the world by plane, and then we land and we get you into a car, where do you want to drive? Where would you go?
Into a convertible. Imagine yourself in a convertible. The wind is blowing your hair.
If you like, if you're in a warm climate, if we drop you down in Norway, maybe you would like the roof to be, over your head. But yeah, you're going for a drive in any kind of car that you like. Where would you go? David Lynn, often heard clutch time in an NBA game.
Yeah.
Yes, David, thank you for mentioning that. I wanted to add that on. Clutch in sports means a crucial moment in the game. You'll hear it in baseball or basketball, like David said. A player will be described as someone who comes through in the clutch, meaning when the big moment arrives, when the game is on the line or it's a very important moment in the game, the player succeeds. He sinks the basket in basketball, or he gets a base hit in baseball. When the score is tied in the bottom of the ninth inning, you come through in the clutch. It means you are effective in a very crucial moment, a very important moment. Thanks, David. Yeah.
Excellent.
Meantime, while you guys are, let's hear from Rhonda. You're going to drive anywhere in the world. Where would you go? Where would you drive?
Down the country roads in my home state of Illinois, with the cornfields and the road going all the way to the horizon. I would drive toward the sunset.
Very nice.
How about you?
The Midwest of the United States, yeah. I would, first, casein. I just looked up clutch in the dictionary. It's a C2 word. What is a C2 word? I'm not sure what that means. Casein, thank you for the note.
C2.
But
3 exclamation points. Casein, tell us what that means.
Yeah.
Good point.
And Steve, again, if I want to go for a drive, Steve would go Route 66. Yes, from New York to San Francisco.
Kicks.
In my 73 Ford Mustang with your family. Oh, Steve, sounds great. Route 66, of course, the classic highway in America. Actually, it starts in Chicago, goes down a little bit into the southwest, and then finally ends up in LA. Like Rhonda was singing, get your kicks on Route 66. Dun, 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 dun. And it's funny, Steve, you mentioned that if I was to go for a drive today, that's pretty much where I would go to. Maybe, I don't know if it would be Route 66 exactly, but I would go somewhere on a drive in the American Southwest through part of the desert down there in Utah, Arizona, called Monument Valley. It is a place where it's mostly desert, but there are these enormous rock formations every so often that are just stunning to look at. And normally, if I have to go like from the East Coast to the West Coast, I just fly over that part of the country. But I'd love to drive through it sometime and just be able to stop, pull the car over to the side and get out and just look at those wonderful rock formations. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just do a Google search on Monument Valley, M-O-N-U-M-E-N-T, Monument Valley in the United States. You'll see what I'm talking about. Joy, Route 1 is my favorite. Route
West
1
Coast?
right here in our island, or are you talking about Route 1 somewhere else, Joy? Just give us that detail, because Route 1 along the Pacific goes like down from Seattle to LA or San Diego, I think, right along the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful. We are almost out of time today, so we need to start wrapping things up, but let's give you one more bit of vote. Oh no, we got to give you an idiom. Always want to give you an idiom. There are plenty of drivers' idioms. Let's give you one here. In the driver's seat. In the driver's seat. Should be down below, maybe in quotes, maybe not. But Rhonda is helping us to understand what in the driver's seat means. What does it mean, Rhonda?
You're the one in control. Of course, literally, when we're talking about cars, Peter is in the driver's seat in an American-made car. But it can mean anybody who's in charge or taking control.
Right, yeah, so in the driver's seat, literally, who's in the driver's seat, or in the driver's seat, I went to the meeting the other day and I started doing all the talking, but I could tell I wasn't in the driver's seat. Bill was in the driver's seat. To be in control of a situation. And likewise,
casein.
Similar one, casein. C2 from CEFR, Common European Framework of References of Languages, CEFR. Thanks for the note, Kaysen.
So congratulations. You got to see 2 words.
And yes, we're being reminded here of the time because they've given us the poll results. If you were a car, you would be...
Jeep.
25% of you would be a sedan, nice 4-door family sedan. 25% of you would be a race car, and I know Steve's one of them. 6% of you would be a limousine. Me and 6% of you would be a limousine. And 44% of you would be a Jeep. Go for some cross-country or jungle adventure in your Jeep. Okay. Oh, great. Thanks so much, all of you, for sharing. I'm afraid that is all the time we have for, but we'll be back next Monday.
Whoa, watch out, Peter!
Be sure to join us then for another topic, another chance to practice your English, and hopefully we'll survive the swerve that we're in right now and be back and see you then. Meantime, I'm Peter.
I'm Rhonda.
Have a great week. Bye-bye. Yeah, I think you need to drive. I think maybe
sorry,
you've got...
I was being a backseat driver.
I'm going to get my own car and get out of here.